Yeah, so I found something interesting. If you've never seen this before, it is the state of the it is the state of the developer nation in South Africa reports. So this is done by Offerzen on an annual basis. So this one, the one for 2025, is now up inside of their website, and we're gonna be looking at it now. Yeah, you just have to Google state of the software developer nation reports, and then it's gonna send you here. Google is gonna send you to this link. So let's go to the report. Let's just scroll down. All right, so Flip, job search trends. First thing is retrenchments. Who's been retrenched? Not many people. No one. Up to close to 70% of developers say they were not retrenched. 18% say there were some retrenchments in the company, but they were not retrenched. And then no, but 7% say there's been a hiring freeze, and only 6% of all the developers who filled in the survey said they were retrenched or they were affected by a retrenchment in their company. And if you look at company sizes in terms of retrenchments, let me see the yeses. The biggest column is green. Green is what? 500 to 1,000 people. Companies that have between 500 to 1,000 people working for them. So those are the ones that actually did most of the retrenchments. And then also blue is what? Blue is 2 to 10. So small operations. But yeah, most developers still have their jobs. And then job searches. Who's been searching for a job and for how long? Or who wants to search for a job? Okay, let me see if I'm understanding this one correctly. Okay, nearly 40% are looking to move within the next 12 months. Okay, who wants to get a new job? This year, 23% say they want to stay for the same company for the next 5 years. The number dropped. It was 25%, 25.3% last year. It is 23% this year. So it means some people want to move, and they say within the next 3 to 12 months, they want these developers want to go find a new gig. What else is here? Okay, but this happens to all companies. You'll always have someone who wants to leave your company, and you'll always have someone who wants to join your company. So it's just part of life. Reasons for leaving: better salary, right? Yeah, developers are all about that salary. Okay, mostly about it. Poor management. This thing is subjective, and it's so crazy how the whole issue of management, or poor management or good management, is so subjective. But yeah, you do have 36.9% of developers saying one of the main reasons why they left the role or planning to leave a role is the issue of management. But yeah, the biggest reason is the money factor. And yeah, so the top three is just the money, poor management, and career opportunities. Maybe if you're already like a senior dev or tech lead or a CTO or anything like that, then yeah, your chances of you moving up, or the timelines that you expect in terms of you like moving up your company, decrease. So you do find that a lot of people at the top, once they see that no, there's not much room for growth, then yeah, they can just leave the company and go work somewhere else. But then again, the main reason for leaving is still salary. Career growth prospects overall, let's see. Do you believe you can continue growing at your current company? Well, the simple answer is yes. Most developers still feel they can grow. They still see the possibility of them growing within the company that they work for. And factors for career growth: company culture, challenging projects, earning potential. This is interesting. The main reason for people leaving their jobs was salary. But now, factors for career growth, earning potential is now number 3 instead of number 1. So yeah, as much as it is important, but it's not the only thing that is important. So company culture and the types of projects that one is given to deal with really makes a huge difference. Let's see, company size. Okay, wait. Let's see seniority. This one is quite level. The top three are almost the same. Challenging projects, any potential company culture. They factor in like roughly the same way. Another interesting one is the whole issue of mentoring and excuse me, the whole issue of mentors and coaches. In the blue one, 38.5%. Oh yeah, juniors really want and need a company to help them out with some type of mentoring or some type of coaching or some any training to help them upskill. And what is next? Salary trends. In your current job, what percentage did your salary increase? A lot of developers got up to 5%, which is just being in line with inflation. Although some might say just below inflation, and then the next batch was 6 to 10%, which is not too bad. 20% say they didn't get an increase. Yeah, that was not good. 1.3% got a salary reduction. This is bad, but at least it doesn't affect that many people, or it didn't affect that many people. Then you have more than 10% above 10% increase. Some even got 20% pay increases. And then salary by city. Okay, this should be interesting. Salary by city, we have Cape Town, Durban, Joburg, and Pretoria. Now let me see. Who's blue? Blue is Cape Town. Yeah, Cape Town pays when it comes to development. So my assumption is going to be that next one is going to be Joburg. Yeah, which is slightly above Pretoria, and then in my home city, yeah, we're just below everyone in terms of how much you earn if you're a developer. So yeah, if you're really about the money, then Cape Town is the place to be. And then salary by tech stack. Let us see. Okay. I'm just gonna focus on the 10-year plus experience. Go. What is this orange? It's Go. Yeah. You can actually earn 130,000. I'm assuming this is per month. Yeah, if you have 10 years experience, then yeah, it can actually get to those amounts. So Go is up there. Ruby, Kotlin, Java. Yeah, Java people are still getting paid. There's too many banks running on Java. So if you know Java, you're pretty much sorted. Yeah, it's the banks. It's also the Android. What do you call them? Android mobile apps, or Android apps in general. TypeScript is above JavaScript, but it's essentially the same thing, or it's a superset of JavaScript. But yeah, if you know TypeScript, if you're a JavaScript person, it would really help you to start learning more about TypeScript. Where's Python? Python is right there, 99,000. Okay, no, at least. Yeah. But yeah, guys, devs do get paid depending on what you own, what you're doing, and how much experience and seniority you have within that specific company. And remote trends. Current remote policy within the company that you work for, right? A lot of companies, close to half, are doing some type of hybrid approach. And yeah, from the guys that I know who work in different companies, this seems to be the new standard now. Is that you're going to spend 2 or 3 days working at home, and then maybe once or twice a week you're expected to come to the office. But there's still a lot of companies, like 36% in South Africa, that are still fully remote. And then about 12% that are fully office-based from 9.6 last year. Okay, I like this. I like fully remote, and then as a backup, then I can do hybrid. Policies for remote companies. If you're remote, my expectation is you can work anywhere. Okay, for most companies, anyways. 53% say you can work anywhere. 53% of companies allow you to work from anywhere. In the same country, it's 25% this year. I would expect these to be the larger companies. They'd say, okay, it's fine. If you're going to do remote, you can do it, but still do it within the country of your employment, which is South Africa in this case. Let me check this. Anywhere in the world, same city, same country, which is, what's this? Yeah, it's your larger corporations. No, wait. Yeah. So they see in the same country, 45% of large corporations or enterprises say it's fine, you can work remotely, but you have to be in the same country. But your smaller companies, like your tiny companies, 60% of them say between 2 to 10 people, yeah, man, you can work anywhere in the world. All right, let's see what else is there. What developers do when in the office. Death by meetings. Yeah. When you're in the office, it's just meetings. Like meetings, someone disturbing you, more meetings, someone disturbing you, and then maybe 10% of your time you're coding. Where is it? Let's see. Note difference, sampling, events, pair programming, code reviews, 15%, client meetings, and some testing. Yeah, but yeah, if you're in the office, you're going to be hammered with meetings. And then for productivity, do you believe you're more productive when working in the office? For me, it was no. I was more productive, or I am more productive at home than in the office. Let me see that. Yeah, 47% say no. They are not as productive if they're in the office. It's about the same for most people. And 20% say yes. In my mind, the people that are highly productive in the office, in a dev setup anyway, or in a tech setup, are managers. So the managers, because their job is people, right? So as long as they see you and they get to create the meetings and plan out the work and everything, they are pretty much more effective or more productive in the offices. But if your job is to hunker down and code or design, then yeah, the office sometimes is not it. You need lots of time alone or with that one or two team members that you're working with. In-office challenges, let me see. Yeah, again, distractions. And here's another one that's big for me: the commuting time. Like I live in a semi-rural, let me just say rural area, and everything is far. Everything is far. If I were to commute to the office, I remember this one time where I used to work, I would need to like drive. It's essentially a 45-minute drive if there is no traffic. But during peak hours, you can literally spend half an hour and a half to 2 hours on the road, just going and coming back from work, like close to 3 hours or 4 hours sometimes, just commuting. And that used to piss me the hell off. Yeah. So yeah, before I get distracted, where are the tech stacks? Okay, demographics. Yeah, this is another problem that we still have in South Africa. Tech in general, not just, tech in general is still a male-dominated sport. It's a lot of men. But it seems like it's changing. In 2025, the number of women who did the survey increased from 18 to 22%. And then when it comes to race, with all the ethnic groups that are in South Africa, let's see. It's mostly whites and blacks, or people who identify as whites or blacks that are in the tech sectors, and then followed by coloreds. This is interesting. Look at Indians. The people who identify as Indian grew from 1.4 to 7.7%. That to me is too much of a jump. So I'm thinking that maybe the survey changed in terms of how people identify themselves in terms of their race, especially for Indians, because in some surveys, Indian people are expected to select Asian But I guess in this one, they started changing the ethnicities or having more columns for people to tick, because there is no ways that we only had 1.4% of developers as Indians. The ones I know at a personal level, I think can be more than 1.4% of the total number of Indians that filled in the survey last year, anyways. Okay, here's the interesting thing. If you go to seniority, I can guarantee you right now, the white developers are sitting at the top and everyone else is underneath. But let's see. Okay, where are we? Junior is mostly 59.5% is black. This is, to me, understandable. Looking at the demographics of the country, like most people will fall under black, so that's why most juniors would be here. But what I want to check is your tech leads, right? So tech leads, let me switch off all of these ones and just leave tech leads. Yeah, see the difference. When it comes to tech leads, there are 67.2% tech leads that are white. But if you look at the other races, the next up on the runner is black at 16.1%. But before we make any general assumptions, okay, let me just make one. One of the biggest reasons it happens like this is the issue of experience. If you're coming from like a, say, traditional background, which is pretty much a disadvantaged background, like black, colored, and Indian, then the education, like back in the day, a lot of us were not encouraged to pursue a career in tech or pursue a career in computer science or anything related to that. So as a result, you find that a lot of these guys, the 67.2%, started programming in grade 4 or grade 5 or anything like that. So they have a lot of experience. So by the time we came into the picture, or by the time that many of the blacks or colored or Indian people came into the picture in terms of programming or in terms of tech in general, you would have had a lot of people that come from the white ethnic group who had already acquired a lot of experience. So that's actually one of the biggest reasons why this is like this. There may be other reasons that we might like to talk about, but for me, the one that I would like to highlight is just that one. Like a lot of these guys actually have a lot of experience, and they've done a lot of projects that actually allow them to be tech leads, right? But you still also have the whole issue of politics, the issue of where the actual companies were created, right? So if the company that you're working for is in Stellenbosch, then guess what? A lot of people that are working in that company are going to be white. If the company that you're working for was started by white people, maybe in, I don't know, Pretoria, Stellenbosch, I don't know, in most of these areas that seem to be tech hubs in South Africa, then that's actually going to happen, that you'll find a lot of tech leads within that specific company. Where are we? Okay, this was the whole issue of race. Location. Okay, yeah. Again, same as salary. People are following the salaries. So it's mostly Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Durban sits at 5.2%. Employment profile. Oh, okay. Employment by industry. So fintech is where it's at. So financial technology. This is your bank, your payment apps, anything that touches money. That's where most of us work. And then after that, it's SaaS, software as a service, and then consulting. So web dev is like snap dev in the middle here. And it actually dropped to 6.9%, which is quite interesting. Okay, no, wait. The interesting thing is data and analytics actually increased from 4 to 4.4%. With the growth of AI, this is going to keep on getting bigger. Education. Okay, most of us have bachelor's degrees and diplomas, and 0.5% PhDs. Yeah, I'm here, first batch. And then the current roles, most of us identify as full stack developers, and then your general software developers, backend developers, front end. Let me see. Okay, well, nowadays with the vibe coding and the coding AI agents and everything, almost all of us are going to end up as full stack developers in some shape or form. Or most of us, anyways. Company sizes. So you have your freelancers, 2 to 10, 15 to 50, 51 to 200. Interesting that this is where most developers work. 51 to 200 is what? So those are your software development agencies or consulting companies. These are your Tarifcos. What's that other one? BCX and what is it? PDB or something. Yeah, those companies. And then if you go above that, you are now looking at, okay, these are your Vodacoms. But a lot of people are working inside of companies that have people that are from 51 to 200 people working for them. Yeah, this is like software consulting companies. I think okay, they don't split it by industry here. Work preferences. Developers 5-year timeline. Working before going to management role. Okay, where are the frameworks? Desired monetary benefits. Okay, this video is taking too long now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight to the tools. Where are the tools? Where are the tools? Where are the tools? Where are the tools? The tools are here. Okay, programming languages. Overall, JavaScript for this year, the most used is JavaScript and SQL. Okay, SQL you can't really escape from. If you're going to be touching databases, you're going to be touching a bit of SQL. But the most wanted, let me see, Python. I'm surprised Rust is not here and the most wanted. Let me see. Oh, okay. Or maybe it's just me. And then for the frameworks, we have ASP.NET, React, Node. This and this is just JavaScript. JavaScript. So for frameworks, it's mostly just JavaScript. And then cloud platforms, AWS is still in the lead with Microsoft catching up. But in South Africa, yeah, I'd expect Microsoft to continue growing. They are making a lot of investments into the country. AI usage. Let me just see at work. We have 62.1% of people who say they don't use a coding assistant. Or they don't use a coding assistant officially. But then, yeah, 37.9% say they do. Most use coding assistants, GitHub Copilot. I think this is because this is built in. This is a Microsoft thing, and it's much easier to get approval to use it than anything else at work. And it was pretty much the first AI coding tool that made it big, or that made the entire thing popular. Everything else followed. Most use IDE, again, yeah, VS Code. If you're using VS Code, you're going to know about GitHub Copilot. And then for LLMs, which are these? Let me see. Developers must use LLMs, the models. So OpenAI, which is the big one. And then Gemini. So for me these days, I find myself using Gemini a lot for almost everything. Then maybe OpenAI's GPT 4.1 as a backup. And sometimes even DeepSeek V3. The latest version is also actually quite good. And yeah, that is it for the state of the developer in South Africa. This is Offerzen's State of the Developer Nation Survey. You can also go just check out the results for yourself. And it's an interesting thing to read from year to year as they continue to do these surveys. And that is it for today. I'll see you on the next video.